Hello and welcome to Real WW Talk. I'm Rikki.
And I'm Candice.
Candice, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm so excited. You know why?
What?
Because it's a new month. It's
Of
the
course.
first. I love a new month.
How can I
So
forget?
yeah, it's November, and I still can't believe that because that means we have 1 month left after this, and then it's 2026. How
It's gone by so fast.
do you really feel that? Like, I always ask, because the teachers have different perspectives. Do you feel like it's gone by fast, or is it like
The school year's kind of dragging. Like, this is the time of year we're waiting, just like, come on, holiday break.
get those kids back
But
to their parents?
especially in, yes, but especially in the beginning of this calendar year, it felt like January's here, and then all of a sudden it was March, and then all of a sudden it was June. Like, I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it's different because I do have a kid that's in school. So, but
Mhm.
I've all surprisingly found a way to fill up my day. So it feels like time has passed by because I'm still just so busy. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, I don't know why I thought that I would have more time. I thought I would have more time because my son would be in school. So I'd have all this.
Mhm.
No, it's the way the world works. It's like things will eat up your time very quickly.
Exactly.
So yeah, I do feel like it's kind of like surprisingly like moved on pretty quick. But
Mhm.
I don't want to fall into that cycle though. I want to stay in the moment and I want to be like grateful and not rush to thinking about, because you know how we can do like, oh gosh, a new year's coming. All these great things are going to happen in 2026. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do
Right.
that. I'm just going to stay here and be happy it's
Mhm.
November 1st.
Yes.
And
Stay in
the
the
change.
moment.
Yeah. So, because you have big things coming up in next year. That's a milestone year
Yes.
for you, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Not there yet. I'm excited to celebrate, but we'll stay in the moment and enjoy the end of 2025.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Mhm. Well, so, with this kind of seasonal change, we're getting ready to the holidays. Like, how do you feel with how the days have been lately? Because we're getting like right on the verge of a time change.
Mhm.
And with that comes a lot of adjustments for kids. Sometimes pets get kind of impacted by it, but we do too, because our days feel like they're shorter and it's like night, 5 o'clock, it's dark at night.
Already. It's like
Yeah.
it doesn't even have to wait until like the official time change. Like I've
Hmm.
slowly been grieving the loss. I mean, as much as I appreciate the weather changes, because we talked about that,
Hmm.
I'm okay with it not being 100 degrees outside like every
Right.
2 seconds. But I am affected by this waking up and it's dark and like getting closer to bed and it's dark. And then
Mhm.
tomorrow it's like the time's gonna actually make sure that no matter what time you're up, it's dark outside unless you're at recess. Ah,
Right.
that's a little tough for me. Like I really, I thought that I was not a person that was affected by like not having sunlight as much,
Mhm.
but I find I really am. Like I start to
Mhm.
have like a lull in my emotions
Okay.
when this time, like I have to be very intentional about being joyful or like
Mhm.
getting outside because I really think there's something about like that connection with the sun that
Yeah.
plays with your like truly messes with your body.
Yeah, it does. It makes a big difference. Like, I tend to be a very social person, but the darker it gets out, when the days get shorter and when the morning starts off like that, I do
Mhm.
feel like disoriented. Like,
Yeah.
I do start to feel like, is this right? Am I on time? When, what's going on?
Well, my hard part is that, also I'm a walker, as you know, I really love getting my steps and
Mhm.
step bets. We've been in between and doing them. I think we just finished up our last step bet, which was pumpkin spice up your fall. And then we're going to be going soon into our holiday hustle. Um, but it's like, I can't believe that we're at a point where it's going to be hard to walk it. Like, I don't like walking at night. Like,
Mm,
especially, I mean, if I'm with my husband or something, that's one thing, but it starts to become like safety concerns. So like in the summer, like when it's light outside, you're like, hey, it's at the end of the day. Maybe I'll go and walk around the neighborhood. So it also affects like how I get movement
yeah.
during this time of year because I have to figure out, I don't have a gym membership. So,
Mhm.
figuring out different ways to get activity, it becomes a little more challenging.
Well, like, it's funny you mentioned the gym membership. It's been a long time since I've had one because I've, just done, stuff at home
Mhm.
too, like with a Peloton like you. But I remember when I would have a gym membership and this time of year when the time would change, you as a female walking in by yourself, if it's dark out, you don't
Yeah.
wanna be, like, thinking about going into the gym at a certain time, and then by the time you leave, it's dark, you're going to your car, like, you have to think about all those things and not
Mhm.
to put fear in people or make people scared, it's just kind of
It's the
goes
world we're in.
right, and it goes along with how you're planning for your day, just, if you realize that that's the fact, you might have to plan or you might choose to plan doing activity at home and whether or not that works for you or doesn't. Like for me,
Mhm.
it's a little bit harder for me to commit to that if I'm like stuck on doing spinning classes at the gym and then all of a sudden I'm doing something at home. I may not be as consistent with that,
Yeah. And the weather is changing. And like I said, it's also colder.
Yes.
And while fall is my favorite time of year, it darkness plus cold equals I want to stay inside. I don't
Oh
want to
gosh.
necessarily venture out. And
Yeah.
so, like you said, so that to me, again, it impacts my social relationships because
Yeah.
I'm more inclined. I already was kind of a homebody, but I'm even more inclined to be like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. I don't really feel like it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so that's even why I feel like they even had like don't fancy me a daylight savings time expert, but I feel like the reason they did it was because they know the longer there's sunlight in certain seasons, the more businesses can get money and stuff because who
Mhm.
not everybody wants to venture out when it's cold and it's
Mhm.
dark. But then
I'm
that can lead to
telling you.
isolating feelings.
Right. Even just going down to my basement when
Right.
it's cold in the morning, this is why I had less success with the morning workouts. Like, honestly, especially in the winter, because in the summer, my house is not at a Candice approved temperature in the summer at the air
Right. She's like one of those 75-degree people. And she's like, gosh, it's a little chilly in here. Rikki, you need help. That needs to be checked. Okay. She's like, well, I'm gonna turn it down at night. It's gonna be an easy 72, just so that you can get
73.
so that you can snuggle under the blankets. Who's snuggling under the blanket at 72 degrees at night?
Me.
That's okay. Rikki does. I love and accept you, but I would never spend the
Thank
night
you.
because she's
Thank
a
you.
great host. Don't get me wrong.
Thank
Great
you.
host. Just the
And we
temperature.
shared a hotel room at Disney and neither of us
But
died.
the thing is, guys, she was like, "Hey," like if you're watching us on YouTube, like she's like holding her hands and she's like, "So you feel like feels good in here, right?" Like I felt so bad for her because she really took one for the team. Thankfully, we had somebody else in the room too who also was a little on the colder side. But poor Rikki, she truly, truly is one of those people. And she was like, "I'm just gonna get another blanket. It's fine." So
I brought long sleeve pajamas.
thank you, Rikki. You are the absolute best. Only because you have to sacrifice yourself. But then I did. I was like, you know what? Let's turn it up to 70. Ooh, that was the compromise. And it
And I was still shivering, but it's
I
okay.
know. See, we're off topic, but that should be a whole nother thing. Why are people like Rikki?
I don't
But
know.
during the fall, it's even harder, right? Because
Yes.
then your house is cold.
So, in the basement is the coldest place, and that's where my Peloton is. So, I had a lot of trouble with one, getting out of bed where I know, like, even if I'm wearing warm pajamas, I like getting out of bed, you're cold, and then your body adjusts to that,
Yeah.
and then you're awake, but then you have to go downstairs where it's colder and wearing exercise clothes. I'm not gonna wear a hoodie
Right.
down to get on the bike because I'm gonna warm up, but it's a whole ordeal.
So, like I said, that's why I can understand why, there's a love-hate relationship with this time of year because for all the comforts that we like, because I feel like this season is very comforting in some
Mhm.
ways. Because we got our even in maybe the things that we wear or what we associate our little warm mugs or our little fluffy socks, but it can feel isolating for some. I know
Mhm.
that, because you don't have as much access to other human beings if you choose not to venture out when it's when it's dark and when it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, like I said, it's just the true impact on not having sunlight. I feel like I have to be very intentional about gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like been my way to combat it, is like I need to like to maybe go for a walk during lunch, or
Yeah.
like sit out in the sun during a time that I can when the sun's out, and do some journaling. Like I love to
Mm-hmm.
journal, but I usually don't have to do that during, spring, summer, like
Right.
because I'm not hit with feeling
Mm-hmm.
like that despair, It's not despair,
Yeah.
but
Well, I know exactly what you mean because, when you are working in a school, for example, we don't get to go out for lunch. Like
Mm,
every now and then there's, and sometimes it's just kind of our parking lot is small. You might not have a parking space if you leave. So that's
right.
part of it. So like, but at the same time, as a special educator, we're busy with kids. We may have to give up our lunch to make sure a kid is okay, or our teacher needs support. So like that is part of why the job is challenging.
Mhm.
Excuse me. But getting back to the weather, on those days when it is like sunny and beautiful out, and maybe it's fall and the weather's cold and it hasn't been, or more so this happens in the spring where it's been really cold and then all of a sudden there's a really nice day. We'll take the students out to like have, a little bit of game time outside, or read a book outside. And it makes all the difference in your mood and their mood. Like I mean, today there was a bee chasing kids. So there's that. Sometimes you have to be brave and protect the kids from a bee, but like,
Don't you wish they would die with the seeds? I mean, I guess they do. Like, I mean, I know they have like their purpose. I'm so sorry, bee lovers. Like, they have their purpose and all the things, but like, I cannot stand the flying things.
they always find the kid that's the most afraid too. And then the teachers are all afraid, but we know we have to get it together because we're the adult in the situation.
Like, I'm the adult here. I'm not allowed.
But yeah, like on those days, everyone finds an excuse to get outside. Maybe I do run and go get a coffee if I have a 15-minute break, and I could like, and it's just like my spirits are lifted just by being outside. So that the weather just really does make such a huge difference.
But that's why I was going to ask you too. Like, so, I mean, I know I talked about like gratitude journals, and they may not have an answer, but like this isn't our first time going through this change of seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But like when you are hit with some of those feelings, like truly like that, I'm just not, I don't know. I just feel like I'm in a funk. I don't feel good. I don't have my tools, like my exercise and stuff. And maybe even it is affecting like how we eat. Cause I know for me, I want to if I'm feeling that I need comfort, those comfort foods, become like a thing. What have you found, if anything, helps you when you're feeling like that dip in your emotions? Is it phoning a friend, or like, I know that we have, there's so many tools now, like to connect with people, whether it's not so much now. What did it used to be? Oh gosh, I'm going to date myself. I don't want to.
AIM.
Like AIM, but like there was one and it wasn't FaceTime. Do you remember what it was called before FaceTime? Skype, or there was another one, but yes, like a Skype. Like we don't Skype as much now. I do tools like Marco Polo and other things where you can connect with people. But what do you find helps you to not go so deep into that kind of like, oh, this is so sad? What do you find to be like some techniques that help?
Well, I like you said, love connecting with friends, getting on the phone, chatting with someone. But I really especially love listening to music, like just the right playlist, or one of my favorite movies, putting it on the TV and just laughing because, or just crying, whatever type of movie it is.
Yeah.
But that could, or putting The Office on. It could just be, a mood changing thing. But what about you?
And we're not, and we always we haven't said this in a while, but I will say it, we are not mental health experts. We are learning this just like everybody else, and we're trying to live this life the best way that we can. But I do have a therapist, and, if I find that it's getting really you don't always need a therapist just because the seasons have changed. But if I'm finding I'm especially just like continually down, talking it out with somebody and just saying, I know that this is not rational. I know this is maybe because of this, but being more honest about when I need support.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that has been tough for me because, again, I don't like to feel like a burden. I usually feel like people have so much going on that I don't want to be the one that's adding to their day because little old me is worried because, or sad because of whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
I've had to push those thoughts to the side and say, it's okay for me to take up space. So I'm going to tell my therapist, or I'm going to tell a friend, or I'm going to tell my husband or a loved one, like, hey, I'm not okay today.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be the weather or not, but I'm just not okay. And maybe that just means I need sometimes physical touch, like sometimes a massage. Like, you'd be
Mm-hmm.
surprised. Just physical touch doesn't mean it always has to be what we think it. It's like sometimes just getting movement, circulation,
Mm-hmm.
treating yourself to something changes kind of how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
So, I love my jacuzzis and I love my spa days. So I probably add a little bit more during this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about you, even like, nails and stuff, things that make you feel good. Like, I feel like are especially like important right now.
Like adding in that pedicure. I don't get a pedicure every time I go to the nail salon, especially not in the winter, because it's like, oh, no one's going to see
looking at my toes.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like just the act of being there and having your foot massage that goes with the pedicure and changing up the color and having them look all fresh and shiny. Like, sometimes that makes a big enough difference in our mood, even if it is just for me, because it's like, it doesn't need to be I'm wearing flip-flops and everybody sees them. It can be that I see my feet and they look beautiful and it makes me happy.
And I think that is the key right there. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need it to be for any other person. It's like, this is something that brings me joy in a time that joy isn't coming as easily,
right,
because of actual factors. Like, I think we minimize.
Mm-hmm.
These are actual things, like seasonal affective, or whatever, I'm saying it wrong, disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a thing.
Yes.
So you have to be like intentional about doing things to address, even if it's not to the level that you need like a diagnosis, but you just feel a lull. Because another thing that I think is important is our diet. Like, this is a time where, even though we may want to give into comfort food, like, I tend to feel better when I'm feeding myself well, when I'm eating things that make me feel good, when I'm drinking a lot of water, when I'm taking vitamins and just treating myself well. That also is a way for me to kind of push back, and by saying, okay, you know what, I'm going to kind of like up the fruits and veggies now. Because I just want to. I want to give my body every opportunity to feel good, and to be blessed to have some of the things. Not everybody has a Peloton, but you don't need it. YouTube, with Rick walking, like doing whatever you can, even if it's inside, to kind of make it fun. It becomes a time where you kind of have to, in my opinion, get creative and say, yes, I know I can't like walk. I may choose not to walk outside right now for my safety, or just because, but I can walk up and down the stairs while I'm doing my laundry and decluttering, like we talked about.
Yeah. And talking about music, I know this is probably weird. I don't know if anyone else did this. I've never really talked about this, but I feel like it's just...
Tell us, Rikki. I want to know.
So when I listen to music at the gym, for example, when I used to go to the gym, or even when I used to go walking, I feel like I did a little mini math problem, and I was like, the average song, this could be completely wrong, is about 3 minutes. So, if I do 10 songs, about on average, 10 songs would equal about 30 minutes of exercise.
I love that.
So I would count the songs, because I am very time can really mess me up. If I know that I'm supposed to be working out or walking for 30 minutes and I look at the clock and it's been 5 minutes, I will, like, my mood is just...
it's not enough time. It's gone past.
I can't do this. I can't do it. I rarely will quit, but it just feels like it drags. And there's been moments, on the elliptical when I used to do that, or even walking in the neighborhood, where I was like, oh my gosh, this is dragging. But I found that since I make a rule for myself, because again, this is the weird part of it, because I feel like not everyone has to make rules for themselves. But I cannot look at the clock. I avoid looking at the timer on my activity watch or on my clock on my phone. And I just play 10 songs. And if a song is boring, I change it. And I just wait till the song's over. And it works pretty well, because there might be a 6-minute song here, but then there's a 2-minute song there. And it balances out pretty well. Usually, even before I get to the 10th song,
Yeah, I
I'm
love
done.
that.
Yeah. So
I
I
feel like you
find
gotta pick really, really long songs too, like Bohemian Rhapsody or something like, here we I see a little silhouette of a man. And you'll just keep going.
that is, we talked about that once before. That is in my playlist. And, and I love
That's
listening
10
to it.
minutes right there.
Exactly.
I mean, you're only got 20 minutes left.
Right.
You only got 20 minutes left.
Yeah, but I say that to say sometimes I would do that when I was walking in place and home when I needed to get my steps. So I feel like this is just like when we were talking with Gigi and she was saying gamify things. Like that's what that is. Like making it into a fun challenge for myself of like, okay, I'm gonna pick my 5 favorite songs. Maybe it's 5 songs. And I'm gonna walk around the house while I listen to them. And then it's not so much a chore.
Yeah. But I think also I love that one.
Mhm.
I'm probably going to do that too. In some
Mhm.
ways, it may not be like that specific in terms of the rule, but like I get what you're saying about like,
Mhm.
okay, this isn't about the number of minutes, it's about the songs,
Mhm.
So okay, I've made it through 3 songs, so now I got 7 songs to go,
Yeah.
give or take, and
Yeah.
I'm there. But that's
And
also
90% of the time, especially if I got into a show, like let's say I was listening to Hamilton, I didn't want to stop, so I walked a little further. Like
exactly.
like
Exactly.
that is the huge like win in that
Well,
scenario.
since you're sharing things that you think are weird, mine is I don't know why. I think I follow it's a trend, so I don't think I'm that weird, but I have
Mhm.
this thing about watching crime shows, like who
Okay.
killed the person, like Dateline, NBC, and those things go on for like an hour, right? So like
Yes.
by the time you're so vested, like that's what I would
Mhm.
do on the treadmill, and even around the
Okay.
house, like I used to like that's remember that serial podcast, like it's like
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
John Syed who did it. Like I was
Mhm.
all into that and listening to it and I can't stop moving until I finish the episode.
Mhm.
Like became that was my thing. And David's
Yeah.
like, why are you still walking? I'm like, because I don't know yet why the friend did it. Like, why did they kill him? Like, what
Mhm.
happened? So
You're
that's
still
been
gonna be
my
walking for some of these shows, be walking forever. They don't know either.
they don't know either. And those are the ones that always piss you off, right? Because you're like, I've invested all of this time, like, and I still didn't learn anything about who
Right.
did what and why.
Mhm.
But it's something about like it's mentally stimulating because I'm like
Mhm.
thinking of things, and then also I'm not keeping I'm not keeping track of the time,
Mhm.
and so I end up feeling better, like I said, and that because it's the thing. It's like right now movement is important. And I was also
Mhm.
thinking about pairing it. They were talking about what is it, habit pairing? Like I feel
Yeah.
like this time of year, another way to combat is doing some of that habit stacking or pairing where it's like
Mhm.
you love to shop, walking around at stores, it's inside,
Mhm.
right? You're getting your steps, but you're still maybe like at the mall because not everybody's going to the mall as much now.
No.
But I feel like, have you ever found it when you're truly at the mall? Like, if you get a big enough mall, you can get some pretty nice steps.
Oh, yeah.
And you
There's
come out
some.
happier because if you're like, I saw some pretty things and look at me, I got 10,000 steps.
Yeah.
All my troubles are gone. They're all
Mhm.
gone. And I also think that this is a time where I'm excited about how like this. Have you found the scenery changes this time of year? Like I said,
Yes.
so the leaves, everything looks different. And then
Mhm.
like when we're going into like Christmassy time, the
Mhm.
lights, I don't know, that something about that too can lift my spirits. Is like
The decorations.
people are
Yeah.
so creative, more creative than I will ever be. Like, and it's not a knock to myself. I just know my strengths and that's not it.
Okay.
But I
That's
like looking at other people who bring out nice things.
right. It's a great excuse to get around. Even like we drive around and see the holiday like Christmas lights and stuff, but you
Mhm.
can also get out of the car, like drive to somewhere, get out of the car and walk. I think you've done that before,
Oh,
like
yeah.
walk in a neighborhood that's known for having really nice lights and
So
you
pretty.
don't have to just stay in the car.
So I think that's, I'm really glad that we had this discussion because there's so many things that we don't. I think the first thing starts with naming it though. And
Mhm.
like I said, for me at least, is being willing to say, for the most part, I'm fine, but when I'm not fine, I'm not fine.
Yeah.
And that vulnerability, I think, is important. And if somebody shares with you, like being in that safe space for someone and not being like,
Mhm.
oh, girl, please, what are you upset about? No, I don't know. Just because I feel like we do that too, like
Mhm.
telling people, don't feel that way. Like, you
Mhm.
shouldn't feel that way. It's like, why not? I do,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know?
Our feelings are valid and we should be around people who accept our feelings and support us when we are saying that we're having a difficult time, or we're struggling with our feelings.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, you got a friend in me. It's a song. Like, it's a true statement, though. You can call me, and I try to, and even in our community, like one of the things I do love, and I know we talk about our community a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying it. It's like, truthfully, go and see for yourself. If you have not been there, go to our Facebook group, search Real WW Talk, answer a few questions so we make sure you're not a bot or a spammer, and see. If you were to I feel like if you were to post, like, I'm just not okay today, you would get so many comments from people who would either say, I relate, or here's what I've done. And that to me is the power of community.
Yes.
Because not everybody's in the same situation. We may not even be in the same states, but being able to have the commonality of like a community that we've created of like, it's okay to not be okay. That's our theme here. Real,
Yes. I think about the ladies who, I think Ashley and Jen and a few of them who got together, and I think a couple of them were local and in our area and had met in person before, but the rest of their group, they had just met through, I don't know if it was a Weight Watchers meeting or if it was specifically through our group, but
I don't know.
They ended up, coming to the DC area and meeting in person and having a girls' weekend and developing such a strong friendship from, a online friendship. So, if you are looking for that community, there's people who are in your area that you could connect with, but there's also ways to engage with people who live further away. And who knows, maybe you'll make a trip to see them too.
You never know. And like I said, you'd be surprised. Sometimes having the strength to like voice something brings out a whole lot of people who may have been scared to say the exact same thing.
Exactly.
Like that's something that I've experienced personally. And I know many in our community have. Just being willing to say, I'm not okay right now, or I am okay, and here's the things that I'm doing to stay okay. Like, people are watching more than you think. I know that, like, we're very, very nosy in a good way people. Like, we want to be able to share. We want to have shared experiences,
Yeah. And if you've been thinking about seeing a therapist or getting that mental health help, there's no shame in that. Both of us have been candid about seeing a therapist, and
forever. I keep her. She doesn't need any other jobs. As long as she has me, she will forever be employed because I'm going to talk. I think, and she's like, remember we talked about that 10 years ago? I know, but what does it mean? I think they feel like that's the gist of our sessions. I asked her if she listens to the podcast, and she said no. She said, I think I get enough from just talking to you every week or every 2 weeks.
I love it.
Gotta love, that's that honesty, right? We are all a little bit off.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. At least I'm honest about it. I embrace it.
Yes. All right. Well, Candice, it's been a great conversation. Do you want to tell our community members how they can get in touch with us?
Of course. Well, like I said, I named one way, which is our Facebook group, which is Real WW Talk. I can answer those questions. But we have a very similar community on YouTube. If you ever want to see our lovely faces, you want to see Rikki and her beautiful Disney ears that are behind, because they're so cute, right? I'll take maybe when she declutters. Okay.
No, this is.
She said you are not those ears. If it's over here, it's been decluttered. It's mine.
Yes.
However, you can go to YouTube, search Real WW Talk if you'd like to see us and see the episodes. You can watch past episodes there. If you'd like to go to Instagram, again, we've made it very easy. Real WW Talk all over the place. You can also go to Connect. Rikki and I are on Connect, and you can say hello. We are, like we always say, getting better at posting there, or at least I'm trying. Rikki's trying, going to be trying. And let's see what else. Oh, you can send us fan mail or friend mail. There's a link in our show notes to send us a message. We do like to tell you we cannot respond. That's not one of the capabilities that they gave us, but we can read it. Some people give us show ideas. Some people just want to say hi. They want to say how much they appreciate the podcast. Whatever you want to say, we're willing to listen. And you can send us an email as well to realwwtalk@gmail.com. So I think I got all of that right. Oh, and if you'd like to support the show, we always like to say thank you. We've had people who have supported for years. And it means so much to us. So you can be you can give a one-time donation if you'd like. There's that link, but you could also be a monthly supporter. You can give $1, $2, whatever you want. Just know that we really, really appreciate you for that.
Yes, thank you. All right. Well, everyone have a great week. We'll see you next week.
All right. Bye.